Hi everyone. Hi Mom. Finished a journal. This one I did as using my cinch, and I used the Sutter covers. Now sorry, I've got floating things here. I used the Sutter cover, and this is, that's what the packaging looks like. So they come in different styles. I picked these up at my craft store. They were clearing them out. And even though they're 8 by 8, it didn't matter because I cut mine down. Now, the thing about cutting them down, here's one that I haven't done yet. So this is what they look like. They come with this plastic insert. Oh, sorry, that's going to be hard to focus maybe. There we go. So you punch your holes in here, you attach your book, and then you slide it in there. Now, I cut mine down. This is an 8 by 8. And when you do that, you need a rotary cutter because it is super thick cover, really, really thick. So if you don't have one of those, use a craft knife and yeah, just keep sawing at it until you get through. It's really thick. So that's how you create the books. You cover them in whatever. So I cut it off, and it doesn't matter if that side's open. I don't care. I just run a bead of glue on the edge there just to stick the paper down. I'll show you in this one. And you know, the only thing you have to remember about doing this, which I forgot, and when I did that one, you have to add about 1/2 inch to however big you want it. So say your pages are 5.5. Normally you'd do a 6. I would go further. I would go definitely, because once that ring pushes forward, it pushes your pages past the edge. And I forgot about that. The one I did for Charlene, I did remember to do it, and so it worked out fine. This one I had to take it apart and cut down all my pages, and yeah, what a pain in the butt. So anyway, here's the cover. There's a doily here that I sprayed. I've done some frontage. Now, people keep asking me what frontage is. It is embossing enamel. That's the other name for it. It's similar to embossing powder, but it's enamel. You work it the same way that you would embossing powder. The only difference is when you're using the chunky stuff. Now, this is what it looks like. I just picked this up at my craft store, so this is the difference here, you guys. $9.95 for this. Joann's had it on for $3.95. Yep. Canadian, American. Yeah, that's what I live with. So anyway, I did pick it up. I usually get a discount, so yeah, whatever. Saves me a trip across the line. Now this is by Stampendous, if you can't read the name on that. And they come in different colors. Yes, they do. Somebody also asked me that. So I did do some of that around the edges. These are Butterbee scrap corners. And I attached them this time using Gorilla Glue. This was recommended to me by a friend. And I had run out of my E6000. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. This stuff you need to be really, really careful with. If it gets on your fingers, yeah, boom, your fingers are glued together. So good idea to wear gloves. Couldn't find mine. So yeah, my fingers did stick together. Anyways, it worked great though. I mean, it's like an instant bond, and you don't have to wait like you do with E6000. So I found that just using kind of like the edge of my my tweezers, and I would push it down, and as soon as it gets that stick, then you're good. And then it takes, I believe it's 48 hours to cure. I can't read it. My eyes are really, really bad today. 24 to 48, I can't remember, but it won't move after it's initially stuck. It's just that if you plan on banging it around, you want that dry time. Anyway, I used it for this. This was just a big honkin' glitter thing that I had, and I used a wooden button. So I glued the button on, glued that on top of the button, and Bob's your uncle. This is part of, it's Marion Smith is the collection that I used. And this is part of the ephemera. And then on the back, I just frontaged it. I did add the little Butterbee scraps over the holes like before. I can't use an eyelet. This is way too thick. The eyelets will not work. And then just a hairband. And the first one broke, so I hope this one doesn't. Okay, so inside we go. First page, I had some cut off, so I created just a little journaling spot. And I sewed it onto the top. And this is just a piece I had left over from the collection. This is something that I had printed out, and I'll show you later in the book. It was actually a playing card that I made. Well, it was the only one I had left, and I didn't really have a spot for it, so I just cut the rabbit out. This is part of her collection. I used this new ruler that I bought. Probably everybody has this, but I am late to the party. So it's a ripping ruler, and it's aluminum, so you get like you just, hold it down and rip your paper against it, and you get that nice, I love that look, and I find it difficult to achieve freehand. So I picked one up on Amazon.com is where I got mine. I'm trying to anticipate everybody's questions. Yeah, I probably won't succeed, but, Okay, glassine bag that I sprayed up with Lindy's. The colors I used are Moonlit Mulberry, which is a Lindy's, and Viva Pink, which is a Tattered Angels. First I lined it with some scrap, this is what it started out as, just a piece of paper. Put it inside with a little bit of decoupage to attach it, and then I sprayed it, I ran it through my embossing folder first, and then I sprayed it. Added a little bit of trim, a little bit of a tea stain doily. This is actually made out of a coffee filter. And then I bought the stars, what are they called? The framelets. And I just love them. I've always wanted stars and never bought any. Anyway, it has some paper that I have just put little teacups on, and those are Stampin' Up! Stamps. And then on this side, I just added the trim. I wrapped it right around. These are little postcards that I made using Photoshop. It's not the full version of Photoshop that I use. It's Elements, Photoshop Elements 14. That's the program that I use. The reason, my computer, I have a Surface Pro, but it doesn't have a huge hard drive, so I don't have Photoshop, the full version. It takes a ton of memory. Also, I use the Surface because you can use your stylus and you can erase and draw and everything right on the screen. I can't do that on a laptop, so I use that. Stamped out, I bought 2 stamps. One is the Alice, and I did do a little glitter pen. Yeah, there it is. And then I did a bullet stamp on the back there. So here's another playing card that I made. Now these little images, I did get them from Etsy. If I can remember who I got that from, I will link it into the bottom. So there's 4 images, or 6 images. This one, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Mad Hatter, and then there's an Alice, and then 2 different rabbits that I downloaded from this fella. And he actually lives in Vancouver, Canada, which is where I'm from. Anyway, this was the second stamp that I bought, so I stamped it out, fussy cut it, and I colored it in with my, I don't know what the name of them are. Yeah, pens. And this is part of the ephemera. I'm not sure how well writing, it probably will show on that, but if not, you can always put a photo on it. This is part of an ephemera pack that I bought, little package, and I think it's Heidi Swap, maybe? Can't remember. I was at the garage sale and it was 50 cents. I was like, okay. And this here is part of her ephemera, and it is a tuck spot. Now I messed up, like I said, so I cut from this side so I wouldn't ruin the corners here. I had all 4 corners cut on the larger pieces, so you can see that that's not quite the same, but hey, whatever. And instead of cutting these off, I folded them over and then just repunched the holes. So they're not perfect either, but whatever. All of the papers I sprayed with a bit of bubbly, which is another Lindy's. So you get a nice shimmer. I'm not sure if that's showing. And then there's an impression of, when I tea stain these, I did lay doilies on them. I used some tickets that Crafty Irina sent to me, a whole whack of them. I did tea stain them. I added almond extract this time to my tea. So every time I spray it smells like almonds. It smells great. And there's the other little plain card that I made. So they're little journaling spots. This is the Sizzix teacup. Ran it through an embossing folder, the Swiss dots. Added a little trim, sprayed it with, that's the Moonlit Mulberry. And then there's another little paper here to journal on. This was an Etsy download as well, and I don't remember, I think, oh, I can't remember, Christy Art, I think it's where it's from, and that's, you get 6 different tea ephemera, and I had printed them on photo paper, so I just layered that, and then there's the little journaling card for that. Isn't her paper pretty? I just really like it. This side, it's not a tuck, I just stuck down the ephemera and added a bit of trim to this, so you can really write on this one. It's quite light. I don't know if you can really see that shimmer. Boy, that's sure pretty. It just adds gold, no color. And more ephemera I added as a flip, so you can utilize the whole page. This was a little paper bag that was gifted in a bunch of stuff from Val, who I just did a swap with. And then this is from Dewdrop's Gable. Her name is Debbie. I, excuse me, ran a shipping tag through an embossing folder, inked it up. Now these are from Irina, Crafty Irina. And then I backed it with another one so that you could actually write on it. Because once you run it through the embossing folder, you can't write on them anymore. It's kind of thick, but I like it. More of the ephemera. Excuse me. See if I have any coffee left. Part of the ephemera. This is part of Marion Smith's collection, and I turned it into photo mats there. More ephemera. This was actually a tag, and I didn't have anywhere to put it. I just didn't like it. It had like a rounded top. I just didn't like it, so I cut it down, and, well, I liked it, but not for the book, if that makes sense. More ephemera, another tuck spot. More, these are photo mats. So these are all just the cutoffs from, you know, the 12 by 12 paper. And that's what I do with them. I didn't waste a single thing. I used everything. This was just some ephemera. I don't know where I got it from. And one of my little teacups that I sprayed with the Moonlit Mulberry. This was some, I got this huge roll of this trim for $1 at the garage sale. So I tea stained it, added a little bit of that trim. There's some more note paper. And I just layered some doilies. This was a download, and I just wrote, I'm late, I'm late. I should have put a rabbit, but, you know. This is also from the ephemera, and I just added it to 2 index cards. So one down here, and then I backed it on another. And this was part of the ephemera. It was actually like a little rectangle. I just fussy cut the hair out. Paper clip that I made. And this is a Stampin' Up, and you stamp it out several times. There's 3 layers here, and then you just cut them out and layer them up. I actually really love this. I've used it a few times, mostly for men's cards, you know, because, I don't know, it just seems masculine to me, but then I figured time, rabbit, you know. Yeah, so that was my thinking. Oh, you can see here on the cream pages I did add a punched out EK Success just to strengthen this, and then of course washi on the pink. another piece of leftover paper, and this is from the kit. So you can see lots of room to write. You can write on that, it's light enough. And I didn't do a ton of stamping either. I really like adding photo mats because I do like adding photos to my journals. And then this here, this was a download. Now I'll try and link that one too. You get 2 on one sheet. It's a little pouch to put tea in. I just thought it was the cutest darn thing ever. And so if I do decide to, you know, give it as a gift, I'll put a tea bag in there. I just thought it was super cute. And it came with this. It was like a little rectangle, 2-sided. I guess, I don't know what it was for. But anyway, I just made it the little tea bag thing. So these are the Sizzix, and it comes with the 2 teacups with the saucer, so I cut an extra one out just to stack them up. This was a napkin. I forget who gifted that to me, but it had the crown and the teacups, and I thought perfect. So I covered an envelope so that you can flip it out and you've got, you know, storage. So I just put some index cards in there. I mean, anything can go in there, clearly. And then this side is the tuck side of it. This is part of her ephemera kit. This was a bag that I made, and I do have a tutorial for that and a couple different sizes. The only difference I did was I added a tab so that I could punch it. Instead of attaching it to a page, it could be a flip. I added a doily, some more stars. This is from Denise. She gave me this awesome retail therapy card checklist. Thought it was super cute. And this is done with a piece of my paper that I created. And it lined it with some leftover of the chevron. So then on the other side, that's the Martha Stewart deep edge punch, and just added a bit of trim at the top. So there's journaling and journaling. And then this was part of that ephemera kit that I picked up for 50 cents. And this is part of Marion Smith's collection. This is one of mine that I did and layered it with decoupage doilies that I had tea stained onto a big shipping tag, but you can write on that side. And I had a little piece left over, so I cut it, added a flower, did the Martha Stewart edge. Oh, somebody told me the name of it, and I still don't know. Swirly something or other. I don't know the name of it. But you can fold it out and write on this side and on that side. And underneath. This was a paper I had created myself and scanned, and then printed it out and cut it out of it's a Spellbinders. I like these for photo mats. This is actually 5x7, I believe. Photo mat size, maybe. Maybe I'm lying. I don't mean to lie. Yeah, well, 5.5 by 4, maybe 3.5, 3x5. So I did lie. This is part of her little ephemera kit. I like this page. It has a little top hat that I had to cut off. This is part of the ephemera, just did it as a flip. I don't like wasting space on my book, if I can help it. This was another cut off from a full page, and then there's my little stamp again with the bullet notes on the back. An Alice I had stamped out, and I just layered it on this gold paper, but it's brown on this side, so you can use that as a journaling spot. And this is part of that ephemera package I bought. And then the last 2 of the postcards. And this one here is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I believe it was a free download, although I'm not definite. I think it was. But I added it to an actual plain card, and then on this side I used a sander and I sanded off the shiny bit, so you could use a pen to write on that side. And then this is part of that ephemera that I just cut a crown out of, That's that Movers and Shapers, and added a little trim there. These are Movers and Shapers as well, and I really wanted to do this flip up that everybody's doing. I saw Yvonne White and then Andrea Bork, and you know, it's kind of cool. I don't know, I just thought it was neat. I don't know who originally did that, but if you know, just leave a comment in the bottom and I will add it to my my box. Another paper clip. I really like the way that one turned out. It's cute. And the last little Alice, and this is also a tuck. And this is the Sizzix. I just got this ornate frame. It's rectangular, and I have the oval one. And I've had the oval one for a long time. Didn't know they had the rectangular one, but it's kind of neat. And that's it. This is part of that ephemera kit, and I just thought it would be a nice place to, you know, put your name, who it belongs to. And that's it. That's the book. So it's a good size. Didn't tell you what size that was because somebody will ask me that. It's an 8.5 by 6. So really what I should have done is this should have been 6.5, and it would have been perfect. Because I like my pages at 5.5. I don't like wasting, so I usually just fold them in half. Well, then you've got 5.5. And so I ended up having to, lose some of it, which to me is a waste. Next time I will cut my page at 6.5, and then, you know, it'll be a little bit wider, but that's okay. I like that look too. And on the back here, on the spine, I forgot to mention that I did do my Maya Gold all along the edges there, so it's got some glitz, a little bit of glitz, but I don't know, I just like the look of that. Looks like an old book. So I would love for you to leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I hope everybody's having a great start to their Saturday. Mine is like pouring rain. So if it's a little dark in the video, that's why. I've got every light I can imagine on in here. Yesterday was hot and sunny, and yeah, that's British Columbia for you. It changes every 5 minutes. So thanks for watching, you guys. Have an awesome week. Bye.